Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the ETF2L Season 39 coverage. This is the fourth week, and the matchup between Nunya and Gremlins. I am Surny, joined by Beater on the camera and the resident Irishman, Josh, on the microphone. How's it going, bud?
Good evening. It's going good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Psyched to see a matchup that could potentially be, at least from the current statistics, be decently evenly matched, considering these are the bottom two Prem teams so far as we're halfway through the season. But you know, we'll have to see whether or not that's actually the case. Both teams have been struggling, but they've also had some harsh matchups thus far. So who knows, right? Um, yeah, let's just talk about the rosters real quick. I'll start off with Nunya. Um, we have Connor, resident Nunya player. He's been on that team for a while. On the medic, you got Derpy Hooves on the Demoman Smile and Amp T on the soldiers, and then Joe and Varnu rounding out as the scout roles. How do you feel about this roster?
On paper, it looks pretty cracked, but the problem is half of them don't have any Premier experience. But from what I've seen, because before the season started, like my No Race team played against them a couple of times in, I think it was the DreamHack Cup or and some PCWs, and they actually had some they were actually surprisingly well coordinated for a new team. I don't know if it's like the players themselves just sort of gel together quite well. I know Nunya, Connor and Ampty, I think, play the German pugs a lot because Connor's fluent in German. And then you've got Varnu is pretty good DMer, and Joe's been floating around top level for a while, but he's never had something to break him into Prem. But there's the only one with experience on that team is Connor. None of them have played to a Prem level and been at a consistently high level before. So lack of experience is definitely going to be messing them over there.
Well, they are going to be going up against another kind of fresh team. I mean, some of these players obviously have Prem experience, and I don't know how many of them are actually playing tonight because people love aliasing and all that, but their normal roster, at least for Gremlins, should be Silvermaster on the Medic, Fluxa on the Demo Man, DQZ and Slowtown on the Soldiers, and then Utka and Lancer on the Scouts. A very Slavic team right here. So, how are they looking?
I mean, same situation again. There's a lot of them with no Prem experience. Med, no Prem experience. Pluck said no Prem experience. Blank, who I'm assuming is Merking, because since he's just joined blue team, which is actually
Hmm.
which is a pretty good merc to get. Blank is a very strong player. He's in Div 1. He's on the winning team of Div 1 right now, who are pretty much cruising through Div 1 at the minute. And I'm seeing some of their results against Prem teams, and they're doing quite well against them as well. But again, so it's half team no Prem experience, half team with some Prem experience, but it's not even like Prem players that I would rate that quite highly. Lanza, he's not a rated Prem player. And then who else is there? Swee's renowned for being very reckless. I wouldn't rate him as a smart player at all. You give him the space and he'll do all the work you need to do, but he's just too reckless as a player. If you can control him and get him to do what you want, then it's good. But you need a strong main caller to do that. DQZ's there. DQZ actually, I do like him as a player. He's actually I've seen him play against. I think I played against him as medic. I think 2 seasons ago. He was actually very good as medic. Lots of good survivability. Lots of good surf. Hits very good arrows. Might be because he was quite a good soldier as well. So he was probably the shining star of the team. DQZ, I'd say. And then for Nunya, I would say Joe's the shining star for them as well.
Okay. So, Joe being the newcomer, that's quite a lot of pressure you're putting on the man, but I'll take your word for it. Our maps, at least the first one's gonna be Reckoner, the second one is gonna be Sunshine, I believe, for tonight. So two maps that are, decently similar, at least a lot of people would probably say so. People always say Sunshine is basically just process and a reskin, and then Reckoner is kind of similar as well because every map has to be processed nowadays. How do you think this map choice could affect these teams? Like, do you reckon one of these teams has like a clear advantage on either one? Or
None you have 100% advantage because of the scout pair on the team. From when I played against Nunya, Vanu and Joe seemed to be on the same page very well when it came to just their focus fire. So as long as they're playing around each other today, they're going to absolutely run over this Gremlins roster. Like
I mean, especially when you consider they're apparently playing with two mercs, so
I mean, yeah, the merc
are they?
factors don't do anything.
Yeah.
I know Blank is America. I'm not sure who else is America.
I
But
think Sui is a Merc as well. I don't think he's rostered, so
well, I mean, if Sui plays it like he normally plays, then he's gonna be a non-factor, which is unfortunate. Which is a call out, but it's unfortunate. It's gonna be the case anyway. And if Nunya just like take it slow and just realize what he's gonna do, then they'll just instantly know they just need to have one person looking behind because they'll be able to just clean them up straight away.
right.
If Sui plays very controlled and plays around Lanza and just helps Lanza to shut down the Nunya soldiers, that's going to be the saving grace again. Pluxa Pluxa's Russian, and Russian people have insane DM, so I would expect Pluxa to have probably overshadow Derpy Hooves just with the
All
DM
right.
factor alone.
We'll see if that's the case, as we're headed into our first mid-fight already, actually. These players were rearing to start just 15 minutes late. That's unbelievable.
They're restarting.
Oh, we're getting baited. Okay, I was about to say, there is no way that they're just getting started like that. Come on. Oh, well, yeah. So we're gonna look at the restart. I would have been very surprised if that just suddenly happens. It's just unheard of. So while they're giving us this extra second to talk, what do you think is going to be a realistic scoreline for this first map?
Is if I don't see Nunya getting a 5-0 after the start of the season that they've had, they need to get a rebound, but it needs to be like a confident rebound. There's no way you can do this sort of game and not walk away from this game with it getting at least a 5-0 on both maps. Like they've had their game against Fortoast, and compared to how their preseason went, I know they had a couple of weeks off because I think some players were away, but still, compared to how their preseason went and compared to what they're putting out in the season so far, it's not been the same level. So they've missed out there, especially against this Ascent roster being not like this Ascent roster is not the strongest iteration they've made by far. They've got good quality players, but it's just not as strong as it could be. So there is always potential for an upset. And dropping points to Aura as well was, that's the kind of game you need to get a draw at least. They need 3 points from that game to make it so that to show they are playoff contenders. But right now, it does not seem to be the case.
Well, let's see if they can pick up some points here. Either team obviously desperately rooting for them as we're headed into our first mid-fight. Players exchanging that usual spam. Let's see who's the first to make a move. Nunya soldiers both jumping in deep into the combo. Not getting any kills yet, though. Silvermaster actually is going to get taken down, so the medic taking out of the equation. Flux are taken down as well. They do manage to find a follow-up kill onto Connor, though. So the heals are out of both teams here, with only the scouts left for the Gremlins, though. They're going to have to pull some massive weight here if they want to stay in this mid-fight, and now it's only Sui left, as we've already realized he would be going behind. He very much so has. He's actually walking all the way to last to try and catch either Joe or Connor or both off guard. Who knows, as the mid is capped out by Nunya, and they're probably going to start trying to get him out of there. Yeah, they're already chasing him down, seeing if they can at least stop him from killing their medic, and they're certainly doing a good job of that right now.
This is like prime position for Nunya. I think they've done their homework, or if they remember Sweet from the Pugs, they'll know exactly what he was going to do. So this is like this. They don't even have to push here. All they have to do is just take it slow and get a free pick on Sweet, and then they can just walk this into second. Because Sweet's going to inevitably get bored doing this, and he will get caught out. But Smile just goes in and drops the med. So,
all right, that's that's pretty good. I think that's gonna be a nice opening for them either way. Obviously, Gremlins might do a bit of aggression here, a bit of pressuring, like all of Nunya backed up there into Bamboo here. They're going to be having quite a lot of pressure onto Connor, and unfortunately he will not be able to live. Fighting off that many people coming at you is just not going to work out, and it looks like they actually effectively wiped off the back of it.
That's just lack of experience coming into it again. There was no one on red there was making the decision. Every one of them was either silent or just stuck in headlights, or they were all talking over each other because no one knew what they wanted to do. Connor's turning around, trying to run away. Half his team's still looking forward at the other entrance to Toxic. One person's trying to look at the flank and he gets overrun in a 2v1 because everyone's just fucking stuck. It's a really poor play from the red team there. The second they get that med pick, they should just instantly hold S. Back onto mid, get the high ground, and just bait them in with the high ground. It's so much easier to defend Connor there. Getting caught in Toxic is just such a horrible play.
Yeah, the pincer came around the scouts flanking very quickly, so now Gremlins find themselves on a very slight, not really worth mentioning advantage, but also just being able to, have the attacking position here now, seeing if they can prod a bit into second, as we see DQZ trying to jump in, doesn't really find anything, so he's going to opt to back out again, but at the very least he lives. Maybe ready for another sack attempt right after, as the teams both now find themselves on their Ubers. might be willing to go for an exchange depending on how they play it here. Lots of players bunched up near cargo here for the Gremlins. Just looking if they can get a bit of spam through there. Nobody really wanting to play aggress through Toxic as of right now. Actually, a bit of an underflank. Okay, looks like Gremlins looking to go under instead. At least both of the soldiers down there. Looks like Lancer is gonna brave the storm together with DQZ as well. They're gonna go in deep. Not find any kills just yet. They're going deep and they manage to die both of them without accomplishing anything. So that's a good start. As Sui also tries to step behind, gets killed. 3 players down for Gremlins. Probably not good if you're trying to hold mid.
That was probably one of the worst sack attempts I've ever seen. Lancer's walking in, waddling in through just like into 4 people who are looking straight at him, and instead of saving his rockets, he's just started shooting upwards directs. So he jumps with 2 rockets loaded, gets air shot instantly in craters. DQZ then doesn't do any favors because he walks through the exact same door and he takes the exact same damage that Lancer's taken. It's just such a horrible play. Like if one soldier goes from each door instead of one, like where Ampty is now, one person goes through that other door and then does his bomb. They don't share the same damage. One person's distracted and then the other soldier gets a free bomb. And then Sui, I don't know, Sui saw Soldier and just turned his brain off and just ran at a soldier and just fed as well. If Sui stays alive, they could have held mid, but now it's just a reverse situation. But Gremlins are defending instead.
At least they've managed to keep their Uber and not absolutely drop the ball on that, so there's going to be a good chance that they can try to hold this, depending on how they approach it. Obviously, it's going to be in Nunya's ball here, whether or not they bust this hold open, and it looks like Empty with the distraction. Smell trying to bomb in from behind, doesn't get the target he needs, unfortunately. Pluxa did go very low, though, so at the very least, he almost managed to get the kill there that he was looking for. Now, obviously, with the pick, Gremlins might be looking to re-aggress into mid here a little bit. TQZ is already in, doesn't really get the kills he needs to. And immediately off the back of that,
gets forced. Ampty did a counter-sack while DQZ went in and got the force because no one... Pluxa didn't have like any choke stickies on the choke though, so Ampty just got a free bomb.
Man, yeah, that's not great at all for the Gremlins here. Nunya now, that full ad, they're gonna wait for Ampty to come back, maybe even already take a bit of ground as, you know, Gremlins probably don't really want to contest an Uber that closely. They're gonna stand to lose a lot more than they already have. Lancer is still in under, might be able to catch Connor off guard here at the very least. Connor, balls of steel, doesn't even get just completely not even bothered by it.
He didn't even
ice
move,
in the veins.
He just didn't even move. It was a very...
Sometimes that's all you need.
Positioning was good from Lancer, but the bomb was just poorly executed. And they've walked into this Uber for 3 base equal Ubers now. This is going to be a horrible exchange because Blues have this point is really hard to push. They need to get...
And so much ground.
No focus fire. No focus fire. This soldier's doing what he wants and last. That should never happen.
Well, that's gonna be pretty bad for Nunya here. They finally use their Uber, and Connor basically just uses it to keep himself and his remaining players alive here on second, so... Yeah, quite a botched push for Nunya, unfortunately. Took way too long to get into last there. Very good building out of Silver Master as well to get that Uber up and running. Defend their last point now with the spawners coming in as well. There's no chance for Nunya to re-aggress immediately. They're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way of peeking and prodding. His Lancer's actually on the sniper as well, seeing if he can maybe get a cheeky pick off. Obviously, that has not yet occurred, and he's opted to go back to Soldier instead as DQZ gets picked up, being a bit overextended. No NG for them either now on the side of Gremlins here, so maybe this is enough brute force for the Nunya team to actually take a bit of ground here. They're pressuring all of these Gremlins players back onto the left side. Bit of cap time already as well. They're gonna have to get on the point if they want to block it. The Uber does come out as well. Connor nowhere close his Uber yet, but he's also not feeling any pressure whatsoever, so he's gonna walk Derpy out of there, and they're gonna stay on second.
That last hold was... They were so fortunate to not lose the round after that. It was so scuffed. One soldier went in for a sack into lobby, and there was only a sniper. They didn't even have a gun building. The only saving grace was Silvermaster did some really, really good building. Like, if Silvermaster doesn't have the Uber there, like with the 25 ad, like, that's like Seeds level building. You know, that's a round for Nunya straight away, because Nunya's pressure is so coordinated. Now they've just got a big full Uber ad to go in. They just need to clear the stickies off the point and get the scout on the cap now.
Yeah, they're actually just gonna get the scout on the cap. Joe's gonna get so much cap already with the stickies, not even harming him at all. And yeah, that's just keeping the players off the point. That's gonna be a first round within 8 minutes for Nunya.
That's a super clean last push. Both soldiers bombing the right side before they can get out of the spawn. Sticks cleared off point. Scouts gets free capture. Just a nice clinical last push. This
Let's see.
the mids they did last time. If Gremlins want to push out on this left side again, they need to be taking the aggression super early because they can't let Nunya walk out of this lower door for free.
Yeah, well, let's see if they can learn from their mistakes. If Nunya keeps rolling that momentum forward in our second mid now. Again, deep bomb by MT immediately. Doesn't die yet, though. He's a bit of a distraction. DQZ is actually going to get taken down. So does Lancer. Both soldiers out of the equation for Gremlins. Means a lot of ground to be taken now by Nunya. They actually lose Smile as well, as Blank has slipped into lower, and Squeeze also in behind. Gets onto the combo, but he doesn't really get the meat shots he needs to and gets taken down by Joe, so that's not going to be doing much with Blank. They're very well aware that he is behind as well, so he's not going to be able to accomplish all that much. Might catch Varnu in a 1v1 here, but Varnu is buffed, and that is probably... could be enough. Maybe, actually, he wins
insane.
it.
That is
Fair
insane.
enough.
That's
Fair enough.
That is the round saving grace. The superstar Merc coming into play there. It's really poor that actually happened. They didn't even need to like hard contest second there. Like they knew one guy was behind. They could have just gone as a blob. Silvermaster left the mids like half a minute ago and there was no one with him, so they knew they had Uberad regardless of the situation. If they just stayed and blobbed up, cap the mid together and then go to second, that's a free second, and then Blank can't do anything like that. So they've lost their ad by being too over ambitious when they had Uberad and no need to push, and that's resulted in Varnu going out on sniper now as well. So this is going to slow down like crazy. I think maybe this is the Nunya plan, just get one round and slow the game down. Make the Gremlins team, yeah. They're gonna like...
Just park the bus for 20 minutes, where that's fun and enjoyable to watch. Yes, I love to see that. Anyway, Varnu better get 3 headshots immediately or I will be very upset.
Oh, they're going for a trade from lower. This is really
actually,
good. This is the perfect kind of play. That's a really good Uber.
Connor milking it for very long there as well before finally choosing to pop, and Swee's actually going to be the first to get taken down with everybody else getting pressured back. So ultimately, I guess it's a decent trade for Nunya, but they're not in great positions. Their health isn't all that great yet. They're trying to take a bit of ground here. They send an empty.
What is
doesn't really do much.
doing?
Picture Lancer just standing in the corner. All right, Empty's just going to clean up that kill. DQZ is going to revenge his soldier friend there, but ultimately he's just stuck in behind now, get beamed down by the scouts. And the rest of Gremlins can only barely try to come back out onto the point here. They managed to actually pressure out these Nunya players. And Varnu gets Silvermaster in the meantime with a nice headshot. So, yeah, that's just looking pretty bad for Gremlins, I say, as Connor also gets taken down by the scouts. What is happening?
This is just turning into a game fest. That was so poor from both teams. Like, no team deserves to like lose a point on this. This should just go back to being like red holds mid and blue holds second, because this is one of the poorest exchanges of plays I've ever seen. Like, Uber gets forced out, but instead of blue trying to take like a really good instead of blue trying to take pressure on the mid with the better Uber that they had, and the fact that red had a sniper who can't escape Uber. Oh, hang on, they're coming back into mid. There's going to be another dry fight.
Yeah, it looks like they're just continuing this fight. This had never really ended. Lancer's going to be the first to fall in this fight. Varnu gets picked up on the other end, though. Bit of pressure now from MT to come in with the bomb behind. Fluxa gets taken down, which means a lot of damage is missing for Gremlins here, but ultimately it's still just everybody looking around this cargo area. Smile gets taken down as well. It looks like Nunya has finally realized they have to back out to second here if they want to have any chance of actually holding it. And they're gonna have to be kind of passive considering only 3 players are alive. Varnu just now meeting up with the team as well. They're very far back already, pressured into lobby, basically not contesting second at all. This is gonna turn into a last hold.
It was a bit over-ambitious going into that mid-fight. They'd just lost one of the soldiers before they took that dry fight, so they were going into a 6-on-5, so you're already fighting an uphill battle there. I respect the idea but to try and do it, because they know that to get the cap time on mid, you have to sacrifice one of your scouts to the low ground. So it could work, it was worth the attempt. I would have done that attempt as well. It was just unlucky it didn't go that way. They got the demo pick on Fluxa, but they lost 2 soldiers because Connor couldn't get into the mid to provide any heals to his soldiers, so just transpired a bit badly for Nunya.
And now Nunya having to hold the last year. They do have the sentry up, but it looks like Gremlins are aware of it. They're already trying to spam it out. DQZ just jumping in, buying a lot of time, gets actually piped down by Derpy, just making sure that he does not escape with his life. I think that was a nice crisp pipe as well. So, yeah, well, Gremlins now have to give up lobby because of that. Varnu's actually going to move the sentry up. An interesting maneuver, the offensive engineering move. Love to see that. This can only go wrong, but it could very well work for this lobby hold. I mean, they've got it on lockdown. DQZ's actually decided to spawn up on the sniper, so everybody's getting their sniping time in on this game. And, well, he might be able to catch somebody off guard. It looks like they're already aware, though. MT saw him and probably called him out to his team. So, yeah, Nunya backed out to last again. They're just back on the point. They're giving up lobby here. But
Seems
they're
like
going to
they're
have to
not
worry.
convincing the lobby hold, so they've just decided to go back to last and just chill out instead. I can respect that decision.
Worry about the sniper, though.
If it's not something you've... Well, to be honest, if you know you're playing against a sniper, you want to hold the lobby instead, because you deny the sniper space.
Oh. They just managed to send Smile in and get that taken care of, but in the
really
meantime...
poor play.
MT dies as well, so they basically trade 2 soldiers for a sniper. If you're holding last, that is not what you like to see. The sentry gets taken down before even having to use any form of Uber. Pluxer just spams that down. That Silver Master actually headshot by Varnu. Never mind, that Uber is taken out of the equation. Khan is just going to use his to protect this point blank. Completely caught in. Pluxer already taken down as well. Sui and Lancer have to try and escape with their lives here. Silver Master, yet again, not checking for those snipers. Varnu with a clutch play there.
That could have been so good for Blue. Was they were a bit too slow to capitalize on 2 soldiers and the gun pick. There was just no one seemed to want to take any initiation, bar Sui. So Sui was actually doing the right thing in this situation with his aggression. He was going straight in, getting space, getting information. Saw that there was 3 people on the left side. There was no stickies on point as well, so Sui, if he was quicker, he could have just got onto the point. That would have forced Varnu to not be able to just get a free shot onto his medic, because Varnu wouldn't have been able to stay on sniper while he's got to make sure that his points is not getting captured. Just a bit... I think that's just lack of experience again for Gremlins. No one was making a clear decision. They could have instantly been true main and just started taking a lot of aggression. Silver Master doesn't even have to commit himself in those situations. He can just give Pluxer 260. Pluxer can walk in, spam 4 pipes, get a lot of damage on the left corner, and then the rest of Blue can just capitalize off that. But it just didn't seem like the pieces just didn't fall together for them there.
Yeah, and that's going to lead to them now still, you know, putting pressure onto second, but Nunya very much so also looking to hold this and move out into mid with lots of players now for Gremlins in cargo. Exchanging a lot of spam through the choke here, seeing if they can maybe bust through. Lots of stickies being cleared as well. Obviously, Derpy's going to be aware of that, and they're just going to be trying to keep these players at bay. Pretty much everybody is just in cargo. DQZ is actually going to try to jump through, gets onto Derpy, but does not manage to get the kill he so desires. Because he kind of botched that skip jump, honestly, as MT goes in for the counter-sec. Does not land anything either, but at least their positioning has been busted open a little bit, and Nunya don't have to fear immediately having to give up second again.
For a roamer to do a counter-sack that late after getting your first pick on DQZ, that's really poor timing. The second DQZ comes in, that's your go-to as a roamer to get your counter-sack in. Like the second, because your job is not to like kill the person who's going for a sack from the blue team. Your job is to just be going for the enemy team's medic, and you want to do that while the blue team is distracted because they're trying to do coordinated spam to help their roamer. That's your timing. Like that is your go-to card. The DQC's on sniper. He's got a really good angle right now. But I think he's gonna get Fluxer. Fluxer baits Varnu. This is really good for them. This is where they should start poking doors. This is where they need to poke the doors now. Lancer should be poking under now. This is so free for him and sweet. This is where Sweet should hit the W key.
They're taking their sweet time. Lancer finally coming in. DQZ gets the kill onto Smile, and Lancer gets the drop onto Connor. This is opening up lovingly for Gremlins here. MT does stay alive, doesn't manage to pick up Sui and slip in behind, but that's only one little thing to look out for. If they can manage to keep him under control here, Lancer looks to be looking behind. They have a very free last push here. They're very slow, but they're still pretty free. The sentry's only level 2 if they manage to take that down or at least get onto the point. There's no cap time yet, and they're taking their sweet time. Nunya players now coming out of spawn. Joe on the heavy as well is actually going to deny a lot of people here. Do a lot of damage, and they're picking up the frags left, right, and center. Only 3 players left. Sui has also just spawned. He's going to meet up with his scout buddy and medic again on second, and it took too long to get into last. So, unfortunately.
Amty's got conch as well at the minute. I'm not sure. He has done a lot of damage and survived a lot, so there's a high chance that conch is coming in. With the crits on Connor as well, if they take the second for free, that's going to be a conch crits push into mid, and that's going to be really devastating.
Yeah, they pick up Lancer right away.
This
to clean up some space.
So botched. 6 alive, but they just had no pressure at the doors, so they've just walked in for free. Amty's got the banner ready. This is going to be a big crits push onto Dopey Hooves.
Yeah, there's the conch right there, ready to go. The speed boost is out. The crits come out as well. They managed to get blank at the very first, but looks like nobody else is going to fall to the crit stick. He's just a DQZ. He's just going to get cleaned up, and that's going to be it for that crits. But at the very least, they've scared them for a little bit. Unfortunately, though, they're gonna find themselves going up against the full Uber now on the side of Gremlins, who are very much willing to probably use that to get out of second as well. Nunya gonna be putting on a bit of pressure. They might very well not be aware. MT and Varnu already in deep and toxic as well. Varnu's actually just gonna get a bit of cap time. The Uber comes out of the side of Gremlins. They manage to pick up Derpy immediately. Who's sweet? Pluxa jumps in deep to try and get some more. He does manage to get corner, which is the pick they were looking for at the end of the day, but they lose everybody for it. Lancer's the only one left alive. He trades with Empty, but Empty got the cooler kill because he got the air shot.
That could have been an amazing Uber for Gremlins, but there was a lot of misplays. Before they even did the Uber, no one was spotting any of the doorways. They were all close, they were all grouped up near the drop down, just sort of waiting as if they were like trying to make a decision, instead of just realizing that they had 100% Uber ad. They've got 4 classes that can instantly kill the enemy team if they're trying to take any space. Like, they don't have to worry about the flank because your own flank was spawning, so any backcappers could have just been killed by your own flank. And then the resulting that is Silvermaster got juggled by Alex's stickies, but Sui then ended up going into them without Uber. He gets dropped. Pluxa then also gets juggled from the Uber, so he doesn't have any flash when he's going for the medic. It's kind of fortunate he gets that pipe combo onto Condor. You know, bit fortunate, bit lucky. Could have easily been avoided as well, but the Uber from Gremlins should have been so much better. And then it's just a bad play with the Uber.
Yeah, and unfortunately now they're finding themselves in a bad position trying to hold last year. They do have the gun up. It's already getting spammed down as well, so they're gonna have to try everything to keep that thing up as the Ubers are equal and Nunya are very much so looking to bust into this last as probably soon as they can. I mean, if they can pick up another round here, they can certainly pad out their lead. This round has been a lot longer than the first one. They definitely have been taking their time, or Gremlins have found their way in to maybe stunt them a little bit. The sentry does get taken down now, so it's going to open things up a little bit. I don't know if Blank is even going to decide to rebuild it or just switch off. It looks like a stay on energy for a bit, and he actually gets the kill onto Smile there, who was trying to go for the sack, so fair enough. You know what? He's accomplished more on the engineer after all.
Silvermaster's doing the Highlander strat of just hiding in the dispenser, so there was no way Smile was going to get that force. Even if he got 2 splash rockets, the dispenser would have absorbed it anyway, so, you know. And it was just, the thing is as well, there's 10 minutes left and you're pushing the enemy last. When you get the sentry, you don't have to do just a single sack. If Alex bombs in there with Smile, you know, because they can only focus one of you down at a time. Smile could have got an easy force. Like, Alex is much better at taking out a medic that's hiding in a dispenser than a soldier, because he can put stickies around the dispenser and just blow them both up in unison. But unfortunately, they don't seem to realize that. Maybe it's because there's 9 minutes left. Maybe the risk takes are not there. DQZ has spotted them though. He is on spy. He's seen them all, like the location that they're coming in now. If they get some really good distraction now, DQZ can easily force its med. Easy force. No one was paying attention.
Beautiful. You love to see it. He just manages to sleep through completely. Slip. You know what I'm meaning to say. And he's actually managed to live until now as well. Obviously, they're aware of him now. But he might be able to just gun somebody down while they're still caught off guard. They do have
Lancer had his mana ready as well.
Yeah, out of the side of Lancer this time around. So Gremlins are going to be using this to take over second. They managed to find DQZ, take down Sui as well. Or at least for, you know, Nunya. So they hold on a little bit, but they have no soldiers and they can't hold the second against the Uber either. I mean, Connor already,
this is a really bad Uber to chase with.
Nowhere near.
Not chase. They should not be chasing. This is inexperience again. This second point cap's so slow, and the red spawns are so low as well that red team will be able to fight the second point quicker than blue team will. This is a really bad play. If Lancer just stays in this corner again, it's going to be also detrimental to his team. He's been called out again, and he's just wanted and fed.
That's the scout player mentality. He just waddles into the team, unfortunately. Doesn't get what he wants. So Sweet also taken down, and again, opening up a lot of ground here for Nunya now. They have second out of control already, and they don't even have any reason to cap it just yet. I mean, they probably should if they want. Yeah, okay, Varner has decided he will take that evil upon himself as the Uber gets into last there. Taking a lot of ground, and they have cleared the sticks out the point, but they're not really killing players just yet, and with second just now getting capped up, they couldn't get any cap time either. They managed to pick up Blank Lancer and Pluxa, so again, they're doing really well in the last, but Silvermaster has his Uber to try and keep the point alive. Squeeze there to dish out a bit of punishment as well, but ultimately, as this Uber fades, it looks like Nunya might come out on top here. Silvermaster's gonna try his best to hang on. He gets one saw. He gets another one. Oh my god!
No way. He got another Uber. I just don't believe it.
Oh my goodness.
I don't believe it. Silvermaster has just clutched the entire game for his team, man. I think he got 6 Uber saws that entire fight. So
Oh my
he like that Uber was so poor from Nunya. They didn't pop, they didn't check, they didn't realise they could have just walked in and used the Uber super late. Alex did a double sticky jump into the left spawn and then realised that no one was there, so he's had to transition to the right. Vanu hadn't even capped second by the time they used this. It was just such poor timing on everything. There was no focus fire. The Fat Boy lived for way too long. Silvermaster didn't get focused. Pluxer did get focused, but he bought so much time that Silvermaster was able to get a free saw on the soldier. And then a 2v1, Sui wasn't even playing it right. Sui was just shooting his scattergun the second it came off cooldown. So Sui had no ammo post-Uber for that fight. It could have easily been just a simple focus fire from Vanu and Joe, but they just misplayed it horribly. And letting Silvermaster get another 4 saws after that to get another Uber.
It's just incredible.
That's so poor. Fair play to Silvermaster.
You could almost say it was,
yeah,
you know, coordinated throw by Nunya almost. It's unbelievable. Actually, yeah, they're already gonna go in through a lower here, go for the exchange on the side of Gremlins. They're just gonna take this into mid immediately as Varnu's on the sniper as well. Can't really be in this fight. Lancer has managed to slip through behind, but he's gonna be in a fight with said sniper and is almost losing it, to be fair. And for the time being, at least Nunya have managed to hang on. Varnu gets the shot onto Pluxa actually, which is quite crucial if you say so myself. And then Lancer gets taken down as well. Sweetie, only player left alive for the Gremlins here, and that is a wipe.
That was a very good Uber trade initially for Gremlins. However, Silvermaster, although he's had like a really good spree of doing good things there, he had a very poor misplay there. He didn't commit onto the mid with a scout. He left his scout, ran back through lower, and rotated to toxic. So the people that are on mid have just been baited super by the medic. The thing I think Silvermaster doesn't realize there, in that situation, you're doing an Uber trade into a team that has a sniper. It is okay for you to die in that situation, because the more people you get focusing you, the less people that are focusing the DM classes on your team. It would mean your flank can get in for free, and then they can actually crush with the Uber. But now they've already taken it onto last with the big Uber ad that Connor had. Guns down already, flank's getting busted into lobby. Oh, this is clean last push.
Yeah, there's a lot of cap time already. I mean, the Gremlin spawners are here. They have the heavy as well, but there's so much focus. Everybody's so low. Lancer's on the point. He steps off for a second, and that's going to be it for the second round for Nunya.
There was no way they couldn't get that last point anyway. Smile was using the pain train as well, so the second that someone caps off, it caps too quick for anyone to block it.
Well. Look at that. They managed to get the second round. It's not quite the 5-0 you were predicting just yet. Maybe they can get 3 more rounds in 4.5 minutes. However, I somehow doubt that. Let's see how this third mid goes, though. Maybe Gremlins can find their way back in this match. Maybe they can at least get a single round on the board here. Put themselves back into the game. Maybe even equalize it. They're certainly not off to a great start as Lancer dies. They managed to trade him for Smile effectively, but ultimately, it's just as equal right now. Silvermaster in a horrible position, gets just focused down there, and Pluxa is the only one left alive at the end. So a wipe out of Gremlins means Nunya wins the mid and manages to carry on into second immediately for free as well.
That was a really good initial mid from Gremlins. They adapted to the aggression that Nunya have been putting out by just taking the aggression first. They've pushed them out into the choke points. However, Lanza disengaged his brain. He had the best bomb ever. He got onto Condog instantly on the mid, landed on his head, did 80 damage to him, and Condog didn't even surf. He was standing in front of him, but instead he went for an air shot onto Amty, and he inadvertently threw the mid by going for an air shot. The soldier wasn't even going to die from this air shot. It was only like a 60 damage air shot, so it was absolutely pointless. Poor rocket placement, poor rocket management, just signs of a bad soldier. And he was lucky DQZ was there to like sort of clean it up, but the problem is Connor was able to pump out so many extra heals just because of that misplay that the Varnu and Joe were just able to run over. Crits is coming from Pluxa.
Yeah, the crits comes in from Pluxa, not hitting anything. Silvermaster actually gets taken down before it even fades, and the rest of the team crumbles around him. Sui manages to pick up a single kill there. Actually, DQZ also managed to pick up, you know, a couple, but ultimately, they're still not going to be able to really do much off the back of it. They might be able to get a bit of cap time onto mid here, but Connor already has an Uber ready to respond with. He's got 2 scouts. He might just take the chariot in, honestly, if he really likes to. Here, Sui is the only one.
Yeah, the position is really good from these players right now. Lancer, the focus fire's not there. Sui gets the cap. That's actually not too bad.
It's pretty good. Yeah, he manages to get the cap out, gets his team a bit of time here. Try and get back into mid. I mean, ultimately DQZ is going to be the only one slipping through, but even that is going to be
If he's
creating
got
a
pain
bit of
train, this is
disarray.
alright. Oh, he doesn't have
He
pain train. That's a
doesn't.
shame. That's such
Yeah,
a
the
shame.
×5 on the point is going to completely nullify that back cap, so he's not going to be able to do much. And now they definitely know where he is as well, so they're fighting this as a
Aristo has
4v6
a
right
fat
now.
Uber run. Chris
Oh,
gets forced out, but it's pointless.
yeah.
Yeah, they're just getting run over now. It's dead time anyway. There's no way to salvage this round. That's pretty much it over. They just have to take it slow, kill these feeders. DQZ is going to get cleaned up, and so will Sui, and then that should be a round again.
TQZ actually staying alive surprisingly long. I think he's just having a fun time jumping around now, seeing if he can get another cool kill for the frag video, because at this point his team has already lost. He might be able... No, can't even deny second here. Does not get the kill... Okay, he does get the kill on Varnu, but it does not matter, because Joe just caps last by himself. That's a third round for Nunya to round out... Reckoner, that's what this map's called. Yeah, I remember.
I give credit to Gremlins. That was a good, that was a good performance. I was not expecting them to not... I was honestly expecting this match to be over 10 minutes ago, but that was me probably rating Nunya a bit too high, because what I've seen tonight, so far, I can see why they've struggled so far this season. It's a lot of there's a lot of poor misses, and there's just a lot that needs to be improved on. I mean, this is against a team that is like clearly bottom prem as well, and you know, it's just not a comfortable win.
Yeah, they have been struggling a bit more than I would have probably expected them to as well, given the plethora of overall experience on Nunya's team as compared to Gremlins. So, again, especially when you also consider Gremlins are playing with 2 mercs, right? They're not even playing with their full roster. You would assume that if they were playing with a full roster, they'd be performing better, right? So, the fact that they have 2 mercs, they're essentially, you know, completely just scattered together right now. Crumbled together. It's quite something that they're still struggling this much on the side of Nunya. So, hey, at least they win the map, so that's all that matters at the end of the day. But
That's
who
true.
knows how that's gonna go into Sunshine? It could be different. Maybe Gremlins have warmed up now.
I'd like to think it's going to be the opposite way around. I'd like to see Nunya just come out stronger on a map like Sunshine. I feel like Sunshine favors them as a team style much better than this one.
Gotta consider as well. Reckoner, is it? It's in again this season for the first time in a while, right? So I don't know. Like, when was the last time? I don't remember if it was played last season or not.
No, it wasn't. It was probably
Yeah.
it was over 6 seasons ago now. This map showed itself.
It's been a couple of years, so it could be that, you know, just inexperience on Reckoner, this version of Reckoner, whatever it may be. Let's look at some logs really quickly, because I am scared of how quickly these players might consider continuing. And yeah, Joe was fragging, as you said.
I can already
It just immediately sticks out to me. Hold on, I can
already
as well.
tell that the blue soldiers probably didn't have as high an impact as they should have, and like although blue team did have like moments of hope and moments of that where they could have salvaged the map, I just don't think the impact was there from each respective player on each moment when it needed to be. But then again, that's just it's a new team. I don't think they've played together last season. Nunya have been playing together for a little while longer as well, so they got the synergy factor. Gremlins definitely can. If Gremlins can just take a round and get the momentum going, then it's going to completely shift into their favor. But they need to really tighten up on. They need Silvermaster and the combo to really tighten up.
Yeah, they've been disconnected more. I've noticed that as well. Connor plays around his combo, his scouts a lot more. Silvermaster is a bit too hesitant to go in, and then lets his team die, and then subsequently dies himself. So that's a bit of a problem for them. Yeah. It's, I mean, it shows in the medic stats as well. Connor's just overall doing a bit better, being able to actually dishing out less healing overall, but just being able to stay alive more. Right, that's already good enough in this case. So yeah. It dropped twice. When was the second one?
Dropped once on the second point to I think it was
It was a bomb, right?
Yeah, it was Lanza got a really good bomb onto the flank after DQZ got a pick. Oh no, DQZ baited a pick onto I think it was the second soldier. Lanza got a free bomb in the flank and they cleaned it up. That was probably the best chance if you're Gremlins to convert that into a round. The only issue was they were too afraid of MT behind. But the thing is, it's one soldier behind, and you know he's low because he killed Lanza. No, sorry, he killed Sui, and in that moment, Sui, if he's calling it to his team, should be saying, "Listen, this guy's 10 HP. He can't come in and block the point. He's got to go running around getting health packs. Leave the scout to cap point. The rest of you move on to last, or you can leave a
Hmm.
scout and sniper to cap, and then move on with the rest of your team to last. Because the scout's going to be able to get to last point dead quick. There's no reason the scout, the second it caps, just doesn't hit that W key and get to the last point. Because 4 players on the Nunya team were dead at that time. There was only 1 player on last. So even if you can't lock the shutter doors out and lock the spawns out, you can at least get another kill while you're on last with your big Uberad, and then you just block them in the spawn doors with the Uberad again. But again, I think that's just inexperience, miscommunication. You've got these players are still new. They're still finding their footing. I still give them big respect though, like that they were able to put up that level of performance against a team like Nunya. When if you would have asked me where I thought Nunya would have came in this season, I would have, like, at the start of the season, I would have said a top 3 team
I would have
instantly.
predicted them to be like at least a playoffs contender. Yeah, like I'm actually surprised at how much they've been struggling as well. But I guess this is going to be the first time they're going to be able to pick up quite a few points. Let's see if they can carry that into Sunshine, as they're actually already just getting started. I'm surprised, but miracles do happen. Gamers do start playing early, so let's see how this first mid on Sunshine is going to go, and if Nunya's current performance is anything to go off of, or if Gremlins finally find their footing and manage to play a bit more concisely here and do a bit better, as a high bomb, MT manages to take the bell tower away from Lancer, who just pussies out there. Very fair, you can't blame him, but ultimately just a bit of spam being exchanged thus far. DQZ has already slipped in behind, with nobody really noticing. So they're going to be waiting on that play, as finally a bit of stuff has happened. DQZ manages to get onto Derpy, does get that kill as the mid opens up. Silvermaster taken down as well. On the other side, though, means no heals for the Gremlins here, and they're going to be having to try to keep Connor safe, which they're doing a great job at thus far. DQZ tries to go and doesn't manage to either. Sweet, the only one left alive.
Sweet's in his prime. But 26 from Connor. That's really ballsy play. Well played from Connor there.
He knows, he believes his team.
A lot of other medics would instantly have popped there. And I would not blame a medic for dropping in that situation, because he would expect his team at this level to instantly clean that scout up. So if a medic drops there, it's not really his fault.
And he believed in his team, and it worked out, so yeah, Nunya going to be looking really good here now.
There was no real, style from Gremlins on that mid at all. Red were taking all the space and all the aggression. Blue were just sort of getting bullied into a corner, and they just got slowly spammed out over time. This should be a clinical last push now from top left.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty surgical, I feel. The sentry doesn't even need to get taken down, as the NG just switches off immediately blank on the heavy instead. No Uber, actually Uber did get popped, I just didn't really notice because not much happened with it, ultimately, and they're kind of trading players here. They do lose Derpy, and they've lost Joe as well already, so only picking up DQZ there. Actually kind of a questionable push by Nunya overall. I didn't really notice there was much of a push at all. Now Gremlins going to be seizing the opportunity at least a little bit. Lancer jumping in, making a bit of ground for his team. Pluxon now coming in with Silvermaster as well, who's gonna get forced by MT, but they were probably looking to use this Uber into second anyway. Smile's actually in behind. He's on last, fighting DQZ. Does he manage to win this fight? No, he does not. DQZ wins it, just barely keeping his team alive.
This is actually a really good situation. No one died from Gremlins now. They can just instantly hit this W key, start stacking the mid. They realize that they can just stack mid, they can deny Smile, and then get a really good setup on mid. But no one's in the position to spam. DQZ is too low. Lancer's not on high ground. No one's on high ground. Sweet's left out to dry here. This is really poor from the blue soldiers. None of them are in a position to get a force or even like six play together at all. Lancer's getting caught behind as well. He's 1 HP. He's buying a lot of time, but he's ultimately, the second this point gets captured, he's going to die as well. And the 2 soldiers down for second. Connor realizes this. He's just getting his team straight in. Probably going to be a trade on second now. But
yeah, there is a second.
With the soldier advantage, this should be just an insta crush. Oh, they're afraid. They're not going for it.
They respect Lancer behind too much. They really don't want to go for that fight. They're just going to keep themselves on mid instead, and I mean, his mere presence apparently is enough to just completely scare Nunya shitless here. They're gonna send Varnu in to maybe snuff him out, but ultimately he might even win this exchange, depending on... Smile's there to back up his scout, so it looks like Lancer is pretty much screwed here. Or at the very least, he's gonna buy a bit more time for the Gremlins, but ultimately Nunya should be able to shut them down.
He's doing
there's a bunch
exactly
of
what he needs
pressure.
to do here. This is actually really good from Lancer. The more he survives...
He's still alive as well.
Yeah, this
My
is
God.
really good from Lancer. He actually could have killed both of them there, weirdly enough. I just don't think he realised how low those players were. As that's this play from Lancer is perfect. As the more he stays behind, the harder it is for Nunya, because they don't want to... They're a bit... They're a bit shook right now. They don't really know what they want to do.
Yeah, they seem a bit split there. They're still worried about that Lancer behind now with both teams on their Uber. Nunya might just be looking to go for another exchange here again. Losing Joe immediately to that, though, is not going to help. Smile manages to slip through, but he's already so low, getting snuffed out by Sui. He might win that battle, but ultimately, it's just going to be soldiers behind soldiers all the time. And
this guy's taking way too long to die. That's really bad misplay. Blank was in a position there where he could have helped Sui instantly, because the second they get the Joe pick, no one else on red team is going to go in there. Lancer managed to live as well, like, and get back to mid. Could have cleaned up that aggression so much quicker. And because now they've allowed Joe to get the spawn, so the damage is there again. Joe's just going to start fragging in this situation.
Yeah, and looks like Nunya have already stabilized. Actually, they managed to force Silver Master immediately. Sui actually gets dropped out the Uber as well. Connor responding way later, having the way better Uber here, allowing them to take so much ground for Nunya. Lancer gets caught out as well. DQZ is far forward in Cafe, but he can't really do much as the rest of his team is already backed out to lobby. He might actually get caught as well, unless he gets a good bomb into here. Doesn't hit the rockets he needs to, though. Gets cleaned up by Derpy as well, so he's not going to be able to do much. And yeah, this is just going to be Nunya taking second, having equal Ubers to take it into last potentially as well. DQC is still dead. So if they really wanted to be ballsy, they could go fast into last, and they might just do that. Joe's already in. Derpy there to back him up a little bit with some suppressive fire. The bomb comes in from the other side. Smile manages to pick up Pluxa and Blank, so that's really good from him, as the captain now comes out of Varnu as well. They're just finding the frags that they need to, and that's going to be Nunya picking up the first round.
No off-classes there on Gremlins. There was no way they were going to be able to hold that. I mean, they should have expected that sort of push to come in as well. Like, if you see there's only one person capping the point, you instantly need to be thinking, right, they're coming straight in. Let's get a Fat Boy, let's get a Pyro, let's deny this push. Just no attempt at trying to adapt to like that last hold at all. And there was no stickies in the cut to get a free kill on Joe this time, so it was just a very good last push, or dry last push.
Yeah, Nunya doing clinical work there and taking it into our second mid now. Let's see, again, Gremlins, they need to stabilize, they need a dub here. They managed to pick up Smile early, but lose Blank in the scramble, lose Lancer as well. Managed to get Connor actually deep bombed by Pluxa, but they've essentially sacked 5 players now, including their own medic, for Connor. I mean, is that really worth it? I don't know. You effectively wipe your team. Sui is the only one left alive, fighting MT now. Certainly a favorable exchange for him, but MT does hit those rockets. Joe is there to back him up. So ultimately, Nunya still wins the mid. And all they did was, well, the Gremlins saved themselves by killing Connor, I guess, but I don't think that's gonna be all that much. Yeah, Lancer's already on Sniper on last. They're just like, they're relegating to the last hold.
That mid could have been amazing for Gremlins, but there was just no signs of adapting. They got the insta-kill onto, I think it was Smile on the start of the mid. That's already the saving grace. And DQC's gone behind now. Lancer's actually supporting him, but they're so weak, these players. Silver Master got piped as well by Derpy here. This is just... I don't really know what the intention was here. Red team already had the position onto second. There was no need to take this fight.
Blank is in behind, manages to kill Smile at the very least, so
I mean,
he's got a bit
still
of ground
got
there.
100% Uber ad, so like these picks.
Sweet's chasing
really...
actually. Oh wow, ballsy play. Yeah, okay. He's decided, you know what? Maybe I don't want to fight a fully buffed scout. He's gonna back out as well. But Gremlins basically just bullied Nunya out of second there.
I respect the play, but losing Silver Master just means you're still gonna get bullied out to last again now, unless. Like, DQZ's already been pushed out of the flank. Lancer has 200, and he's just going to get bullied back out now. And they're just going to get run over. The only saving grace is Silver Master builds really, really quickly. So if they can... The more... that's it.
Lancer.
There's no off-classes onto last here, but I think Condog thinks he's lost his Uber ads because they're not in a position to push right now. The health was really bad on red team, so I understand why they would slow down a little bit. But... from this style of team, even with a pick and equal Ubers, they could definitely send in a double sack. I don't see them having fear for this.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite an interesting one for Nunya here.
Flux
I
is
mean,
caught,
they.
Flux is caught.
Yeah,
No one's serving.
Joe,
No one's
Joe just
supporting
goes
him.
in and kills Pluxa, and the rest of the team comes in to follow up. No demo again means just easy cap time. Already halfway there for the last point. Obviously, Nunya players are coming in. The exchange is underway as well. Connor flashing like a madman, keeping his team alive and just way better healing overall as everybody on Gremlins dies or is just way too far away from the point. That's going to be a quick second round for Nunya as well. Goodness.
That's Fluxa and no experience at all. Like he's just single netting on this choke point on the right side on last as if you're on the blue team, and the scouts are just running at him. One scout runs at him from under, one scout runs at him from left, he dies. Silvermaster's not in a position to heal him, and none of his soldiers are supporting him. So although it's misexperience on Fluxa, it's also a misplay from the Gremlins as a whole. Like just lack of support for a team.
And it's gonna be taking them to the next mid. Lancer immediately dies as well. So it's already a losing battle for the Gremlins here. They already have worse positioning. They're down a player. Nunya can just basically play the war of attrition and take this mid home as well as now Gremlins back out. Pluxa gets picked off again.
They won't leave
as
here.
well.
If Nunya are quick, they can bomb Derby Hooves in here, but this is so... Derby Hooves has turned around to go back to mid for some reason. This... Oh,
I don't know anymore, man.
Silvermaster got a saw!
Geez. He got his saw again, manages to get the Uber out, so basically forces Connor to use his as well. Obviously Connor's is way better, and Silvermaster even has to kill bind. As the second now getting capped off as well, DQZ trying to at least buy a bit of time for his team. Pluxa here trying to hold the shutter down as well, managed to catch off Varnu, but MT is already in and he's going to catch him out with Joe as well. And there's only okay, Blanc manages to get the shot out to Joe at the very least, but I don't think that's going to keep his team in the battle for too long. Two scouts holding last now, just the spawners are coming in. There's already so much cap time though. There's nobody on the point, and yeah, that's just going to be a third round.
This is the Nunya I wanted to see. I mean, granted that Gremlins are playing this map horrendously, but this is like the kind of performance I wanted from Nunya to like capitalize on these advantages quicker, because they're definitely like a very good momentum team, and when they have the momentum they're going to keep rolling like this. But Lanza, the last two mids, has had literally no impact. Last mid he just bombed into the red cafe, died instantly. The mid prior he jumped the cafe roof into two scouts and died instantly as well. It's as if he's just asking the other team to win the mid completely for free. DQZ has a fat bomb onto Connor. He's 1 HP in the choking cranes. That's a really good mid. I like this. This is the aggression.
Wow, they've responded really well this time around. They took the time a little bit at the start and then just immediately, everybody, very well coordinated aggression into Nunya, just wiping them completely on mid there. Very well done by Gremlins. They're going to be taking it into second immediately as well. Building like madmen, trying to make this ad as big as they can. And potentially rolling it into last straight away as well. They might wait for their soldiers here. I would expect and I would hope they do. But we'll have to see. Connor has crits as well. Looking if they can stall out Gremlins long enough, they might actually have that crits come into play. And it does build quickly, so... They're gonna have to move quickly, Gremlins. Yeah,
they don't know the side
right.
that the gun's on. That gun's completely hidden.
Oh no, they get a lot of ground, but ultimately they get no kills until now. They managed to pick up Derpy, but Joe on the heavy already gets Pluxa, so that's an equal pick there. They managed to pick up Connor as well, so no heals, but again, it's only DQZ and Sui alive. Sui now has to try to do it alone against 3 people, and that's just not gonna happen. Oh.
Initial push was good. Gun going down was good. They had a scout on the point as well, which was good, but the problem was they didn't bait onto the people on the point. So, Ampty and Smile and a scout all rushed to the point while one scout was coming. Oh no, they're taking the fight on second. Ooh. This is actually a really good fight to take because blue spawns are so low on this point. Blanc needs to commit for this guy. That's if he had committed for that soldier and just didn't show fear, that could have been a really good fight for him to take. They would have easily won this second, but that's just transpired quite badly there.
Yeah, that's just gonna be Gremlins now officially bullied out of second. Nunya already actually Joe aggressive on mid as well. The rest of his team is there to back him up. Lancer up above the team, and he does manage to pick up Joe at the very least as Smile is in the combo, but does not get the kills he needs to either. Nunya feeding a couple of players, find themselves again back up to second now. Tugahaner's also switched off the crit streak again, so we're gonna be seeing equal Ubers here potentially as yeah, Gremlins just basically bullied their way into second.
It was a good play actually. They realised that the spawn times were still quicker for them on that second point as well. Like blue spawns were just that much faster, and red had too much ground to cover on the map to get 2 mids to help their team. It's still a good fight to take for blue. Good easy picks on the flank. just exactly what you need. It's a good play.
And
That's
yeah.
the thing. That's the thing with Sunshine. Like these points are like almost always worth fighting. When you're holding second, DQC's out of the server. Guess
Yeah,
maybe he's had enough.
all right.
Maybe he's seen enough.
He's had enough.
But,
Yeah, he's
but
just whatever. We can't win anyway. He's given up. Who knows?
I expect
they're not even
a couple
pausing.
soon.
Which yeah, like where's the
Sweet's
pause? That's
got
what I'm
sniper
wondering.
as well. Sweet's on sniper. Where's this? I wonder if he's got stickies in the lobby.
It looks like he's got him up in the corner there, but that's all he's got. Sweet's just peeking that angle. DQZ just does not appear to be one. Oh, there you go. He's rejoined. Okay. So it must have been just a short crash. They decided that it was not worth the pause. And Nunya, they are fortified on last as well. They're looking to hold this as best they can, as long as they can. Sweet tries to go for the peak, gets picked up by MT, just spammed out.
I don't get why he's done it by himself. What is he doing?
Yeah, why is he just walking in?
Why is his only one brain cell working? I don't get it. Literally, just wait for your team. Let Plux sticky you. Get a bait kill. What is he doing?
That was a bit questionable.
That's not. I don't know. That's just annoying to see.
Yeah, I guess they just did that to, buy some time or something while they wait for DQZ to rejoin. Maybe Nunya were being bros about it as well, didn't push off the back of it. They, decided, hey, let's be sportsmanlike. Either way, now they look like they actually want to make an effort to bust into this last at least a little bit. Joe, obviously on the pyro, denying that spam onto the sentry as best he can. So that sentry's really going to be all that rolls around. MT is actually going to get picked off. That's going to be a good one there, yeah. Opens up a lot of ground on the left side here. The sentry's already half health, just now getting healed up again. You get a bit more coordinated spam on that. They could take that down very easily now.
Sticky's on this left corner. They're gonna get a picked on the floor. Lancer has no idea. Smart gets traded though. This is really good coordinated aggression. This is perfect. Connor's taken out spam from this position as well. They don't have to play the point here. Just do some really good spam. They will inevitably force someone.
Yeah, it looks like Gremlin's losing Lancer though. They're picking up a lot of ground. Plux are just barely staying alive. Nice error by Silver Must to keep him in the game, but ultimately Gremlins couldn't quite bully their way in off the back of that, but I'm actually very surprised neither Uber was forced at the end of the day. And Gremlins...
Silver Master's had some amazing plays so far. He's got some really clutch arrows and clutch Uber saws so far. Amty's got a banner as well. If he's on conch, he'll probably have it ready by now. None of these soldiers are using battalions though, especially on a last hold like this. Battalions is so good, it's so strong, so easy to build. Kind of surprised they're not doing it. Lancer's switched up to sniper as well.
Everybody gets their turn, and it looks like maybe Lancer could be the one. Well, at least he's getting a bit of more support from his team this time around. Doesn't quite get the shot. He still gets cleaned up instantaneously, so he's not going to be in this at all. And now that opens up a bit maybe for Nunya here. They actually do use the conch. MT is going to hold that in his hand, and now let go of it. So they're going to... they actually managed to force the Uber off the back of it. So they're going to go in with that as best they can. The sentry doesn't even get taken down. So much denial by the Pyro and Joe. Just completely denying that Uber out of there. Connor not feeling any danger whatsoever. Not having to pop at all. Now Nunya are sitting pretty on this, and Gremlins might be getting a bit desperate.
I don't think they're going to push. I can't see them... They've given Gremlins too much time to set up for like flank plays and backcaps. Alanza's already spotted Smile. He's just about winning the fight. So they've already traded 1-for-1. DQZ's also flanking, but they've done the flank too early. Like, Nunya have actually played this really well. They're just doing baits. They've just baited the entire flank. Silvermaster's going to get the Uber up though. If they realise this, they could actually still fight. The spawn times are so low, there's nothing to really be afraid of. And time's against you. You've got 12 minutes and you're 3 rounds down. They shouldn't have backed out there. They should have tried to make that fight on second. Wait till you have your Uber and then make the trade. Because now that Nunya are off last, this is like an even better position for Nunya. They don't have to worry even more now. They can just they can slow the game down even more. They're not going to do anything. I guess MT and Smile are not on banners anymore. That's like one small saving grace. But so all this spam is pretty much just for logs. It's not actually for a banner or anything. DQZ's on sniper now. This is like the third person I've seen them going for sniper.
Yeah, everybody gets their turn. The Uber actually just comes out of the side of Gremlin. Silvermaster using it very early to get through Cafe there. Obviously Connor responds with his own. Has the way better Uber as well, and ultimately it was just people staring each other down for a while. So it's going to be about this post-Uber fight, maybe getting DQZ a nice angle to catch somebody off, but ultimately, it's gonna be on Gremlins to make something happen here. Yeah, as you said, I don't think Nunya is gonna do much in terms of aggression now. They're up 3 rounds and it's 11 minutes left. Realistically, they can just even lose a couple and probably still be pretty fine.
Barney's got the flank onto mid. Sweet spam.
Oh, no.
That was a lovely 2-shot.
Oh, Flux are taken down as well.
Yeah,
by
this
the
is
focus fire in.
they're
Flowers
gonna
here,
wipe
DQZ
here.
gets
They are
picked
gonna
up.
wipe here. There's no way they don't wipe.
Oh, maybe actually, it looks like Blank and Silvermaster can get out into second at the very least, so the wipe might take a bit, but Nunya just gonna keep rolling this forward now. That's such a decisive advantage to push off of. Yeah, they're just gonna keep it.
This is not the position
forward.
you take the fight. This is not the position you take the trades. That's so poor. There's no
Connor doesn't
reason
even have
to take.
yet.
Yeah, but there's no reason to be taking this.
Jeez.
Wow. Okay, Lancer
God.
should never get that kill. Lancer potentially saving the round for his team with that pick there. This is actually where they should be W keying. Demo pick is at a W key opening. They focus the soldier down and the space is free. Silvermaster doesn't have to commit here. All he has to do is spam arrows from shot and just make sure his team gets heals. Lancer's got another kill. That's still a really good trade.
He's keeping his team in the match here. My God, he's going on so much, but they're losing players, they're dropping them left, right, and center. I mean, they managed to get the Uber out of Connor finally. DQZ manages to deal enough damage there. So they buy themselves like a 50% ad, but they still have to keep moving forward. They have to keep rolling this and taking these fights and all that stuff, because 10 minutes, 3 rounds is a pretty tall order.
That was well played from Gremlins, I'll give them that. Like, they took it slow, took it methodically. Silvermaster didn't overcommit, Fluxer was safe, but they've rushed it again. Like, just take, you've got 60% Uber, just slow it down. Wait for your players and then go as a blob. Oh, this is so bad. The flank from Nunya is in for free. Silvermaster only just gets Uber, they're just running in while the flank is back capping. You got 2 on second back capping, you're gonna lose the round.
Yeah, I don't think they've noticed, and yeah, Varnu and MT are just gonna go to last. Pluxa is alive, but also, he can't really do that much, I think. He's gonna try to put Stickers on. He gets Varnu at the very least, and Lancer actually arrives to block in time. Oh my God.
Fluxer, you hero.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know, man. I've not seen much from Fluxer over these entire 2 maps. He's a bit of a non-factor on demo. But, yeah, that was a nice saving grace. So Connor's got a big Uber ad to come into now. They get the cap time, so the spawns aren't going to be there to support them. This is still a good spam fight to take. They've not used this Uber. They realise they've got 50 ads. They're going to get forced in a really bad position here if they keep trying to take this for free.
It looks like Gremlins have let themselves get bullied out ultimately. They respect it a bit too much, and now Connor obviously wants to use that into last. Yeah, that's again, they go into last immediately with the Uber, but second isn't even capped off yet. They might get a few picks here, and Silvermaster getting taken down is actually pretty good, so I think Nunya can still win this round at the end of the day. It's only 2 scouts really preventing them. DQZ is walking in with the pickaxe. He can't do much either, so jeez.
Again, there was no adaptation from Gremlins on that last hold. You know, none of them are looking at the cap timers at the bottom of the screen and seeing that they're not stacking the point, and they're not thinking, shit, they're coming to last, they're coming with the Uber ad, let's get position, let's get off classes. Again, they were just, Fluxer was holding the left side, got picked off instantly. Silvermaster was just sort of AFK behind point, he got picked off, Scout got picked off. It was just so, it was just too easy, it was gifted.
And this might be the final round that we're looking at. Nunya definitely being more dominant, you're putting on quite the show. DQZ is going to be the first to get picked up as well, so... they actually managed to find Connor, so that's going to be a big opening frag here for the Gremlins, but they just have so much meat to throw at Silvermaster and his combo, and yeah, Nunya just win in the end anyway. Take that mid and just take it forward. Yeah, they're already on second. I mean, Derpy's already putting up stickies on lobby here. Does not manage to get DQZ with it, unfortunately. The blind that wasn't going to work on that, but worth an effort, I suppose.
They just absorbed the 2 soldiers' aggression very early on the mid. Like, although they were able to force Connor into a really bad position. Somehow he ended up on the red Tetris by himself, so Blank was able to just get a free pick. But the second Connor died, it allows the rest of Nunya to just sort of activate themselves. They just all hit the W key at once, so it's really, really good coordination. It's just a shame they sort of need the medic to die for that sort of aggression to hit. You don't need to lose your medic just for that level of coordination to exist. Someone's got a Huntsman. Blank's on Huntsman.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think we're officially in garbage time now as Blank has decided, hey, I'm gonna use the arrows.
Oh, there's an Elico Ruba.
Uber demo jumps in, and they actually, they get a bit of ground, I guess. They managed to pick up Pluxa, but that's all they've done so far. Losing Smile in the process, Blanket's taken down as well, and everybody on Grims is just so low that they managed to escape with their lives, I suppose. Sui is still in, as he does, he's doing his thing. He might get a cheeky little pick here, who knows? Connor doesn't have an Uber, he's actually gonna melee Sui and get the kill, oh my god.
The scouts
Oh my
lost. Manu
god!
gets half up. Amti's behind the point. Amti's got an insanely good position right now. No one even knows where he is. Blank's still on Huntsman. Sticky's on
He gets
point.
the kill?
Amti gets the cap. Yeah, that's just completely free. That was that was expected.
Yeah.
Could tell Blanket's just sort of giving up with that. I respect ALX for trying the Elico Uber, doing like 5 stickies and getting the Uber on you and choke and just doing super high into the skybox where they can't see you. Big respect for that Uber. It's a very good Uber. Lots of teams I think are getting too used to it now though, because I'll be honest, I stole it from Elico and I started doing it a lot, so teams just started getting used to it, so teams will expect that now. But
Well,
it was just, yeah, there was just that was just poor from Gremlins. They didn't carry any of any of the good things that they had on Reckoner. They was just not carried into this map. Like the mids were just very sort of misplayed. No one really had any sort of direction. They never committed to a side. They never took any like focus fire. Silvermaster was just sort of getting left alone with Pluxa. DQZ had one good mid. Lanza had no good mids. The only mid that was misplayed from Nunya was the one where Connor just sort of got caught out by the Tetris. I mean, the one mid where DQZ just like bombed into 6 people and did 800 damage, that's only going to work once. You don't get that working more than one. That doesn't work a second time.
yeah.
But there was no creativity as well. There was no double fast soldiers. Double fast soldier on this map is actually insanely strong. You do that against practice that, coordinate it, and get good at it. You can crush the mid before the enemy team even gets to it. Plux is definitely getting outshined on the mids in the demo trade. He doesn't really have any impact. I never saw his impact on Reckoner on mids either. It was just sort of very soldier dominated, scout dominated mids. The second fights as well, the Gremlins never really wanted to try anything. They just sort of did one. They never really even did a sack. They did one nice dry play on the left side on last, but there was no they didn't take good enough position to make it work. When you take that left side, you've got to really spread your team out and take positions far down the left side, because the more you stack on the left side on the barrels, unless you're just going to take the same damage, and then you can't. The Silvermaster can only heal so many people at once, and then you're just going to get out spammed completely. But if you push down towards the spawn door, you can completely crush them with the positioning advantage. And then they just went. They let 4 different people try sniper, and not one of them got a pick.
Yeah,
The
that's
the
pretty sad.
the most
I was gonna
damage I
point that
saw
out as
was
well.
Blank. Yeah, the most damage I saw was Blank with the Huntsman, and he only did I think he did 180 damage with the Huntsman. So that sums up the sniper gameplay there. There's
Yeah,
just
like
nothing.
I got the exact numbers on the logs. Blank was the only one on Sniper that actually got 2 kills. One of them with the op at some point, and then at the very end, like a random huntsman kill. In that last push that they were obviously already throwing. So yeah, 4 sniper players on one team sounds like a recipe for disaster, as has been evident on this match. Yeah, I mean, it went all according to prediction. Nunya managed to finally pick up a few points for themselves in this season. However, at least on Reckoner, they were still looking a bit shaky. And it might be a telling sign for the rest of the season. I mean, hold on, who are they? They still haven't even played their first week match, which was supposed to be Global Clan. And then they have Garda, Vibrance, and the Frenchies going up for the rest of the season. So a bit of a mixed bag. Bit of a mixed bag there, in my opinion.
Vibrams are a bit unpredictable from what I've seen so far. They took points against Ascent, but then they've struggled against the teams that aren't Ascent. So it's surprising. Maybe ego's getting the better of them. It's hard to say, but I think that should be a close game. I would not be surprised if that goes a map apiece. If they play 3.5 stars, 3.5 stars took Ascent to 3-2 on Sunshine last night. I would not be surprised again if that goes to a 3-3. There's a lot of potential in that. Like the Frenchies are good. Like the Frenchies are
They
sort of
playing good.
they're like
Yeah.
I think they're going to be like the unsung heroes, or not unsung heroes. Sorry, they're probably going to be like the team you don't expect to do good, and then they'll just sort of come out of nowhere. Global Clan, I would expect. With Global Clan's experience, I would not. I would if Global Clan just take it slow and methodical against this team and just like control the game. Global Clan should be able to take this like 2 maps, and then I don't know who the last team was, but
That was Garda. Garda, yeah.
Garda. Garda. Garda's actually probably in that unpredictable batch again. I'd probably say
Yeah.
I would expect Nunya to beat them though. With Nunya,
Actually, Garda have been doing pretty well this season. I'm just realizing now. They took 5 against Aura. They obviously beat Gremlins, and then they went 4-2 against Vibrance as well. So I guess they're doing pretty well thus far. So yeah, this seems to shape up into quite an interesting season, at least for the next couple of weeks.
I think the maps are going to have a big impact for a
Yeah.
team like Nunya. So Nunya is like incredibly scout dominated. You know, there's not like with when it comes to analyzing the teams that you play, you've got to take into account like all the people on each row. So if I was playing against Nunya, my concern would be the scouts. I wouldn't be worried about the demo, and I wouldn't really be too worried about the soldiers. They like to cause a lot of chaos, but the scouts are going to be like the heroes of that team. So if I play open maps against a team like Nunya, I'm probably going to get have a really hard game. Sunshine, really good for them. Process, I can imagine being really good for them as well. Gully, if the soldiers like get a really good game, Gully will be really good for them. But I think that's going to depend heavily on how coordinated Smile and Empty are. So it's not like it's not going to be a case of there's just going to be like I need to worry about everyone on the team. It's going to be about certain maps have certain players that I need to worry about, and then it's the polar opposite for Gremlins, for example. You know, on that team, it's just a case of good coordinated mids will just crush that team.
Yeah, well, we'll hope maybe that Gremlins manage to somehow pick up a point in the rest of the season, but they have a bit of a hard, tough road ahead of them. So who knows? That's gonna be it from us tonight, though. I believe. Do you have any shoutouts, Josh?
Just shout outs to Lego, Amy, and Nerd Rage and Mandem.
All right, that's gonna be it from us then. Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll be catching you again next week for more ETF2L games. Yeah.